The process to set up a pivot table is fairly simple. You just highlight a database that you want to turn into a pivot table, making sure that you've met all the requirements of a pivot table, that is no subtotals, unique columns, headings, etc. You go to Insert, and you'll see over here there's something called Pivot Table, and I'm going to choose a pivot table for now. The pivot chart will be explained later. If we click Pivot Table, you'll see Excel produces this table. First thing, it says it thinks it's going to use this in the database, and it's always useful just to check that it has guessed correctly. So you'll see it looks like it's looking at the right area. You can use external data, which will be covered later. You also get asked where do you want the pivot table to appear, either in a new worksheet or else in an existing worksheet. And if you do ask for existing worksheet, it will ask you for where. But we're going to say new worksheet. And when I click OK, you'll see it sets up the pivot table for your first time use. Just to explain some of the aspects about a pivot table, first thing to notice is when the pivot table is active, you'll find you've got a pivot table field list, and that in your ribbon you've got a new item called Pivot Table Tools, consisting of options and design. If you click in another cell, these disappear. In order to get them back, you just click into the pivot table area. You'll notice with the ribbon there's a whole bunch of options which we'll cover at various stages, but you can see there's a number of options here, and if you click on the Design tab, you'll see again a whole variety of options, particularly around the style of your pivot table, but we'll look at those later. On the right hand side, you'll notice the pivot table field list. If you look here, you'll see that these labels correspond to the column labels in your underlying database. So over here you'll see date, time, duration. In the pivot table, date, time, duration. This is one of the reasons why the labels need to be descriptive, because this is all you have to work with. At the bottom here you'll see some empty blocks, and you'll see this section tells you the report filter. This is for where the column labels will go. This is for where the row labels will go, and this is where the values can go. You'll also notice there's something here called Defer Layout Update. If you click this on and off, what happens is as you build your pivot table, you can decide whether the screen will update immediately or it will wait until you have finished all your changes before you then push update. Let's show how easy it is to set up a pivot table by producing a nice simple one. If I go down here, you'll see there's an item called bill, and that's the bill associated with these cell phone accounts. There's a number of ways I can get this information into my pivot table. You can click on the little box, but then Excel guesses where it thinks you want to put it. My preferred way is you click on the item and you drag it while holding down the button. And you can see you can choose where you want to put it, but I'm going to say please put it into values. When I let go, you'll see what it has done is created this first little report, and this is saying that the total of that column is that amount there. Now that itself is not particularly useful, it's just the sum of a column, which we could do fairly easily. But let's now introduce another item. So for example, I'm going to go and take this month column or label, click it and drag it, and now what I want to do is to see the months down the side and to have these subtotals. So when I let go, notice that in a very easy way you've now created a report that gives you a breakdown of the total split by the various months. If you don't particularly like that or where it's placed, I can grab that label and maybe put it under the columns, and when I let go, you can see it now goes across the top. And again, if I want to maybe go back, click it, drag it, and that looks quite nice. Another thing to realize about pivot tables is that they are not live linked to your formula. So for example, if I go and you'll see this is January and it's 184, I go to the underlying database and I take one of the numbers and let's put a really big number into the bill. So let's make it 1,000,000. When I come back to the pivot table, you'll notice nothing has changed. And that is because pivot tables need to be told if there's been a change in the underlying database. Some simple ways to do this: you can either go to the ribbon and you'll see there's a button here called refresh. You can choose to refresh or refresh all, or else you can just right click on the pivot table and over here you have an item called refresh, and when I click refresh you'll notice that the big number that the change I've made comes through. Let's just undo that. Again, when I want to change it, I go and I click refresh, and there's my old number back. So at a very simple level, you now have a very powerful report which you can manipulate to generate various types of reports. In the rest of the course and the video clips, we're going to understand what can be done with each of these sections.